understand between you and me. One talk right down to earth, and here mutually understand. We all agree tonight, all statistics have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is us. The only reason she has a problem is because
and you're listening to Poor People's Revolutionary Radio on KEXU 96.1 PNN, not CNN, y'all. Welcome to Message to the Grassroots. I'm your host, Biz Molotov, aka the Voodoo Child. Want to start off tonight saying the joke's on us. I repeat that. The joke's on us. I'm going to say that one more time. The joke's on us. Now you're asking, what is he talking about, the joke's on us? Well, when I say the joke's on us the joke is this. Whenever there's a atrocity committed by the terrorist organization, state terrorist organization, popularly known as the police, one of the so-called remedies that comes out of that families who have lost loved ones at the hand of these murderous Ku Klux Klan are given what's called blood money or hush money. Money is given to them to go away, to hush up, do not discuss the case in order to get paid. It seems like in America, the only way a black man can become a millionaire is get killed. And millions are paid to the families. Restitution is paid to the families, not out of the pockets of the pigs, not out of the pockets of the politicians, but out of the pockets of taxpayers. Us people, we pay for these murdering rabid swine to kill us, beat us, maim us, harass us, and disrespect us in our own communities. That's why I say the joke's on us, because we're paying for that. So the joke's on us, folks. And we need to examine that and have a discussion around that. How do we get around that? Billions of dollars have been paid in this country to settle judgments against brutalizing, murderous police officers. New York has spent up to now $1 billion in settlements. Chicago is second with over $200 million, and LA is third, surprisingly. They leave the country and shooting people, but they're third with over $200-some million. Totally, cities across this country and counties have paid $2 billion of your money and my money, taxpayers' money. Imagine what $2 billion could do going back into the gutted social safety net. How much housing would that provide for homeless and poor people? How much health care and decent education, where that money comes from to pay off these swines so they can continue to murder us with impunity because, hey, it's no skin off their asses. We're going to pay for that. I want to come to a report that was just issued by the Action Center on Race and Economy. And it talks about brutality bonds, how Wall Street is getting over on police brutality. And basically what they're talking about, as the cost of police misconduct rise, cities and counties across the United States are going into debt to pay for it. Often this debt is in the form of bond borrowing. When cities or counties issue bonds to pay these costs, banks and other firms collect fees for the services they provide, and investors collect interest. Capitalism is a bitch, ain't it? Oh! There is profit to be made off of police brutality, folks. Again, the joke's on us. The use of bonds to pay for settlements and judgments greatly increases the burden of policing costs. Bonds to pay for settlements or judgments can nearly double the cost of the original settlement. All of this is paid by us, the taxpayers. We call the bonds used to cover police-related settlement judgment costs police brutality bonds, because they quite literally allow banks and wealthy investors to profit from police violence. This is a transfer of wealth folks, from communities, especially over police communities of color, to Wall Street and wealthy investors. The companies profiting from police brutality bonds include well-known institutions like Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, and the Bank of America, as well as other smaller regional banks, other firms. If you got your money in Bank of America or Wells Fargo or invest in Goldman Sachs, get your money out of there. Take your money out of there. Unless you're profiting off police brutality. We say police brutality. I don't mean to say police brutality, because when you say police brutality, that kind of connotes that the problem is it's just a few rotten apples on the tree, whereas the whole goddamn orchard is rotten. So it's what we call it, state-sanctioned police terror. The use of bonds to pay for settlements and judgment. Repeat myself. These police brutality. Okay, let me again. So again, the joke on us. Not only are we paying these rabid swine to brutalize and maim us and beat us and harass us and even murder us, which is a joke, but Wall Street and banks and investments like Wells Fargo and Bank of America are making a killing on it. These bonds are loans that the city puts out, and people with money come in and buy these bonds as a loan. The interest alone, folks, these institutions have made $80 million to $200 million profit, just not on the principal, but on the interest. So if we see more and more cities are continue to do this study was conducted in Arizona and Los Angeles, Chicago, and Milwaukee. And it shows how now many of these cities and counties are going into debt in order to repay this. They cut social services like road repair, trash pickup. They lay off public employees, which mostly are people of color. They lose their job in order for the city to continue to pay these cops to F us up. Is that a joke? Is that not a joke? So this report goes in a little more detail than I have time tonight to go into, but it breaks it down and it shows how what is called the financialization of police terror. They say police brutality. We're saying police terror. They're a little liberal. That's all right. It's a good report. We say police terrorism, the financialization. And we talk about financialization. We talk about the whole neoliberal paradigm where finance not only takes over the political realm, it takes over the finance realm, and it takes over our very own lives. So think about that. Think about that when the next person or family is awarded millions of dollars because the police have taken a loved one. Like, you can't place a value of money on a loved one, right? But they're given this money, they're given this restitution, and we need to have a talk about that, discuss that, and find alternative ways to make these Ku Klux Klan, these members of these state-sanctioned terrorist organizations, to pay, not only financially to the family, but pay by doing some time or some other way to reciprocate the harm they have created on our communities. So this has been Message to the Grassroots. Before we end, we also like to remind people that on August 21st, there's a national prison strike that's being called by brothers and sisters held in America's gulags as a result of a melee in April at the Lee Correctional Center. These brothers and sisters demanding the end of prison slavery, among other things. They're demanding have their voting rights restored, changing their conditions to be treated as human beings, and the end of having human rights violated. So they're calling that August 21st. August 21st is the commemoration of the assassination by San Quentin prison guards, the assassination of Black Panther Party Field Marshal General Conrad George Jackson. And August is Black History Month to recognize our fallen soldiers. George Jackson was leading a prison movement. We're seeing that happening right now across the country in prisons. There is a vibrant prison movement afoot and it's happening. So we want to support that prison movement, and we want to support our brothers and sisters who are going on this national strike. We want to let the authorities know that we have their backs. We have their backs. We're not going to tolerate any retaliatory reactions from prison officials. And we will be mobilizing on August 25th in the Bay Area as part of the Bay Area National Prison Strike Solidarity Committee. We will be mobilizing people to San Quentin Prison. And we're going to go up to that prison and let these brothers and sisters know that we have their back, and we're going to be calling and inundating the prison administration's phones and telling them we're holding them close scrutiny, and we're watching what they do. We're watching their reaction, and we're going to back our people up by any means necessary. Firstly, finding out and identifying those means necessary to do what we got to do. So again, that's happening August 25th, Saturday. We'll be talking more about that. We're organizing it right now. We're encouraging people to join us. We're going to be busing up there. We're going to be carpooling and caravanning up there. We have several groups who are working on prison abolition in the Bay Area who are joining us and endorsing this effort. So we'll, as I always tell people, we'll see you out there on the front line. We'll see you out there on the street. Again, this has been Message to the Grassroots with Bilal Mafundi Ali, a.k.a. Biz Molotov, a.k.a. Voodoo Child. And check out that report about this, what they call police brutality bombs. They are making money. They're making a killing on our killings. The joke's on us, y'all. So we signing out right now. This is PNN, Poor People's Network, PNN, not CNN. And we're taking out. And before we check out, I'm wearing my Fresh Homefulness hoodie. I got it on, just got it 2 days ago. Young man brought it to the house. Dog bit him, but I still got it. Anyway, so I'm fresh with the homefulness. All power to the people.